Thank you. Welcome to our graduation exercise. Would you kindly stand for the playing of our national anthem? Thank you. Kindly be seated. Members of the school committee, Superintendent Neely, colleagues, members of the class of 1995, family and friends. It has been written that time and tide wait for no man. This becomes more evident each day as one grows older. 13 years ago, you began your formal education. Life was simple, filled with games and play, and the future meant only that moment. And as with each of our lives, you began to notice the passing of time as you moved through the system from grade to grade. You began to experience more challenges and opportunities each day, and the demands upon you increased along the way. You entered Burlington High School 4 years ago, where we first met one hot August morning in our auditorium. You look young, somewhat intimidated by what experiences lay ahead, but certainly bright-eyed and eager for the new challenges. We talked about what impact we wanted you to have upon our school and how quickly time would pass. Here we are today, 4 short years later, and as I reflect upon your contributions to Burlington High School, I must summarize by saying that you've been an outstanding group of fine young people. You have helped change the climate at Burlington High School significantly to the positive, and you will be remembered as a class with clear leadership, talent, dedication, and superb school spirit. As you leave Burlington High School, it is my hope that you have taken from it the highest of moral values and ethical standards which we have attempted to instill. Upon these foundations, you will build your life's direction, and your character, which will form the framework of your daily lives, will require strength and compassion. Abraham Lincoln spoke of character in this manner: character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. The true measure of oneself is in the depth and strength of one's character. It is also my hope that you have been selfish about your education. Through education, the doors of opportunity are opened, barriers of prejudice are destroyed, and self-actualization may be achieved. Whether you pursue a career in the technical, manual, or human service field, knowing and understanding more about yourself, your community, the world around you, will enable you to make better decisions about the many choices which will face you throughout your lives. Remember the words of one of this country's greatest statesmen, Benjamin Franklin. He said, "If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest." It is my hope, as you grow through life, you will always share in the respect for others. Each one of us is a precious human being. Without that respect, life has no meaning. Respect the dignity of others. Show compassion for the less fortunate and for those who are mistreated. Remember, kindness is a virtue appreciated by everyone. Mark Twain defined kindness as a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Your compassion for others will give you a sense of personal satisfaction and individual fulfillment. As you embark on your new goals, be adventurous. The adventurer who has clear ideas, confidence in his ability, and a willingness to strive for lifelong ambitions possesses the chart and compass necessary to blaze new trails. Now, as you sit here on this Sunday afternoon, you look young, yet not as young as you did 4 years ago. You are perhaps somewhat intimidated by what experiences lie ahead, but still bright-eyed, and I am confident you are eager to face life's challenges. In closing, I would like to offer this quote from one of America's most adventurous presidents, President Theodore Roosevelt. He said, "Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in the gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat." Thank you very much, and God bless you all. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a young man who has been a true leader among his peers. He has worked hard to make his class a successful one, and he has gained the respect of his peers and faculty through his dedication and commitment. He is a young man any parent would be proud to have for a son. Please welcome the president of the class of 1995, Matthew Sherwood.
School Committee Chairperson, Ms. Christine Monaco, Superintendent Neely, Dr. Suffredini, Mr. Contardi, Mr. Galtieri, distinguished faculty, parents, friends, and fellow graduates of the class of 1995. It is with great pride and honor that I stand in front of you today as president of the class of 1995. Today's graduation ceremony is the beginning of a long journey through life, one which will at times seem like a never-ending roller coaster ride. However, I would like to talk to you today about what you make of your life and your destiny. Although you personally do not believe in destiny, I urge you to keep an open mind, for it affects us all. Hugh O'Brian was not only a famous actor, but the founder of a youth foundation to help better today's leaders. He professed, "I believe that every person is created as a steward of his or her own destiny with great power for a specific purpose, to share with others through service a reverence for life and a spirit of love." I agree with the words of Mr. O'Brian. As you leave the ceremonies today, you are the master of your own destiny. You have the greatest gift, the power to choose. Whether you go on to a post-secondary school, the armed forces, or into the workforce, you will be faced with choices and opportunities. We have been prepared through 13 years of schooling for this day, and from now on, you have the whole say in your destiny. I urge you to take risks and pursue your goals. National Hockey League great Wayne Gretzky once said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." You are the steward of your own destiny. Only you can keep you down. By the same token, only you can make you great. Interestingly enough, the character Forrest Gump is a perfect example of Hugh O'Brian's theory. This simple man, growing up in today's not-so-simple world, becomes the steward of his own destiny. When talking with his mama for one of the last times, she told him, "Well, I happen to believe you make your own destiny. You have to do the best with what God gave you." When Forrest asked what his destiny was, his mama replied, "Well, you're going to have to find that out for yourself." Each one of us here today has to find out for ourselves what our destiny is. We might not become a millionaire shrimp boat captain or receive the Congressional Medal of Honor, or be on the All-American ping pong team, but maybe we might be the ones who journey to space, or cure cancer, or save some of our world's endangered species. We must do the best with what we have been given. Like Forrest, each one of us here today has the potential to brag about themselves. Oh, it's a household name. Class of 1995, it seems like just yesterday that we were performing in vaudeville, lighting up Harold Parker State Forest, and dressing in drag for the Halloween dance. We have grown, and now it is time to say goodbye. I want to challenge you all to pursue your dreams and reach for the stars. For all men are great in their dreams, stated Sigmund Freud. So continue to take risks and be the steward of your own destiny. Great things are to come from this class. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our co-advisors, Ms. Brown and Ms. Dalton, for all the hours they have put in, guiding our class in the right direction. I'd also like to thank my family and friends for being there for me. Most importantly, I'd like to thank the class of 1995 for being so outstanding and supportive of me. Someone once told me that the two things that people remember most in life are the books they read and the people they meet. Well, I've read some good books, but I'll never, ever, ever forget the Burlington High School class of 95. Thank you for everything. I would like to introduce at this time the Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Robert Neely.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Dr. Zaffardini. Isn't this a beautiful day? It's such a nice time for all you parents I know to see your sons and daughters here as they graduate from Burlington High School, and I know the pride that you take in each and every one of them. You know, as a school superintendent, I spend most of my time dealing with management issues like collective bargaining, school budgets, the new educational reform law, regulations, contracts, and other similar issues. In other words, I know and I talk with adults most of the time. I talk with the teachers, administrators, the school committee, the Ways and Means Committee, the selectmen. Well, you get the idea. Ironically, for a guy who originally decided to become a high school teacher because he enjoyed teaching history and he enjoyed being with high school students, as a school superintendent, I do not have the opportunity to meet as many students as I would like, and I certainly teach no history. And usually the students I do know are the very good ones, and those, of course, that are not so good. So these graduation speeches are my opportunity to talk with all the students at once. And I use them each and every year to give a couple of pieces of advice to those who are willing to listen. Now, I know it's always risky to give advice to anyone, especially to young kids about to graduate from high school. And it's certainly presumptuous to do so. But what the heck? This is a great opportunity, so here I go. First, each of you has developed some good friends during your 4 years at Burlington High School. And here comes the advice. Don't lose them. You will have many good friends in future years that you will value greatly, but none of those future friends will have known you when you were young and at Burlington High School. Look around. The friends you care for now can never be replaced. So value them and keep in contact with them. As an example, I just had my 35th high school reunion. And when I attend these reunions every 5 years or so, I find them to be wonderful experiences full of warmth and caring. Those people who knew me at El Monte High School in California in 1960 don't care what I do for a living now. They don't care what kind of home I have, and they don't care how much money I make. But they do care about me and my happiness. And as you get older, That caring is a nice gift to have. The second piece of advice, and this was mentioned by Dr. Saffredini and echoed by Matt. Look at life as an adventure. Take the risks while you are young. Now, I know superintendents are not supposed to say this, so I'll probably get in some trouble. But when I was 21, I dropped out of college, hitchhiked across the United States from California, throughout Europe and the Middle East, and I hitchhiked across North Africa. I was gone a year. I then went back to California, finished college, joined the Peace Corps, and went to South America for 2 years. It was great fun. It was probably not a very wise career move, but I have some wonderful memories, and I still ended up with a pretty good job. So take your chances. Try out your dreams. You can be too careful. The last thing you want to say when you were 52 years old and standing in front of a high school graduating class like I am is, I wish I had done fill in the blank. You don't want to have to do that. So class of 1995, thank you and good luck, and I'll see you at the graduation party tonight.
At this time, would you please welcome the chairperson for our school committee, Mrs. Christine Monaco.
Good afternoon, school officials, members of the administration, faculty, staff, parents, guests, and honored graduates. 2 years ago, President Clinton was the guest speaker at the graduation ceremony for Northeastern University in Boston. Because the president was coming, every seat in Boston Garden was filled on a very warm day in June. However eloquently the president may have spoken, the speech of the day belonged to the student speaker, a young man named Douglas Loughborough. When he approached the microphone, he didn't speak. Instead, he took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and began to sing in full voice. He sang the opening words to the Banana Boat song, "Day-o, daylight come and I want to go home." After he sang, he started his speech, and the audience, including the president, listened to every word he spoke that day. He talked about his first week in college and how he was frightened and wanted, as his song indicates, to go home. He talked about his mother, a single parent with 4 children, and how hard she worked. He talked about being homeless at times in spite of his mother's great efforts. He told how she inspired him with the words, "Reach for your dreams and don't let anything or anybody stop you." He thanked her. He also spoke about his goals for the future. Yes, he wanted a good job, a family, and financial security, but he also wanted a better neighborhood, a safer city, better schools, and a united country. He said that he wanted to put his education to some greater use than his own self-interest. He wanted to use his education to reach out to those who have less than he had. When the speech was over, the standing ovation lasted for minutes. The President of the United States shook his hand, patted his back, and even invited him to spend a weekend with his family at the White House. Now that's a lot to get out of a graduation speech. When I thought about this speech for today, before the class of '95, which includes my daughter Betsy and so many others whom I know from my neighborhood and all over town, I knew that this would be a challenge. After all, I can't sing. I finally decided to share with you what I learned from Doug's speech, that you don't have to be the president, or for that matter, anyone important, to have something important to say. And I realized that everyone, like Doug and his mom, for example, can do great things. And I realized that Doug's values, family, work, education, and caring about others, are the very values that we all need to live by and for. I congratulate each member of the class of '95 and wish you much success and happiness. I compliment your families for the guidance they have given you. I thank your teachers for the fine job they have done preparing you to meet the new challenges that will come your way. You, members of the class of 95, are young adults with great promise. We are so very proud of you. And so, my young friends, after 13 very short years of school, the time has come for you to go and reach and succeed. Go with our pride, go with our love, go and do great things. Thank you.
The valedictorian for the class of 1995 is not only someone who possesses superior intellectual skills, but someone who has proven to be a true leader in the school. She was the treasurer of the National Honor Society and varsity swimming captain, as well as an integral part of the student council. Without further ado, I present to you our class valedictorian, Anjali Dond.
Members of the school committee, Superintendent Neely, Dr. Staffordini, faculty, parents, invited guests, and the class of 1995. Our graduation from high school marks a turning point in our lives. It is a day to look ahead, but at the same time to look back. For many of us, today marks the end of 13 years in the Burlington school system. And for all of us, it is the beginning of a long journey. Today, we stand atop a small hill that we have just climbed. It was a path filled with challenges and struggles. And although we've reached this point, a large mountain looms ahead. As we start our hike to the top of this mountain, we say goodbye to all the comforts of our past. Until now, we have been guided by our parents, teachers, and counselors. It is time to go on our separate ways, each with our own dreams and aspirations. Whether it is college, work, or the service, the future lies in the decisions we will make for ourselves. We should be ready to take the risk of making these decisions and take responsibility for their results. However, before we look to the future, let us not forget our 4 years at Burlington High School. We have watched each other grow both individually and as a class. We have changed from insecure freshmen to confident, mature seniors. We can never forget the friends and memories we made here. In our journey ahead, we will take a piece of the past with us. As T.S. Eliot once wrote, "Time present and time past are both present in time future, and time future contained in time past." The future holds whatever we make it to be. Success has a different meaning to each one of us. A positive attitude, strong determination, and high motivation will help us achieve success. Above all, our own resolution to succeed is the most important thing. No matter what career you choose, love what you do and do what you love. If you can strive to appreciate every minute of your life, then you have achieved success. In conclusion, I would like to share part of a Van Halen song called Dreams with you. Reach for the golden ring, reach for the sky, just spread your wings. We'll get higher and higher, straight up we'll climb. Higher and higher, leave it all behind. Higher and higher, who knows what we'll find. And with that, I leave you with best wishes for a bright future. Good luck to the class of 1995. Thank you.
Our class salutatorian can probably be named the hardest working student of the class of 1995. To round off his academics, he was a member of the National Honor Society, cross-country team, Factathlon, Math League, and was president of the Italian Club. I am happy to introduce you to the class of 1995 salutatorian, Eric Strand.
Welcome, good afternoon, school committee, Mr. Neely, Dr. Staffordini, faculty, parents, and fellow members of the class of 95. The time is the present. The setting, a busy street in the city. A businessman is trying to make a deadline on a business deal that will save his company and provide him with money to support a starving family. On the way there, he gets stopped by two muggers. They beat him severely, rob him of everything of value, which include his briefcase and all documentation concerning his recent deal. As a result, his company lost millions of dollars, and he was forced to lay off many people, including the man who was mugged. His family was forced onto the streets, where they have lived ever since, constantly struggling. This man has no name, but if you look across our great land, you'll see it happening everywhere, and mostly has gone totally unnoticed. Why has this happened, one might ask, but unfortunately there is no real clear answer. However, one might say it's caused by what we see on television or by our lack of moral values. But whatever the reason, there's only one clear solution: strength. I'm not talking about strength as in lifting up 300-pound objects. I'm talking about the strength that comes from here and here. That might sound corny, but in the world in which we live, violence and crime are becoming more and more familiar, more and more a part of our daily lives. Even so, more has changed. That's why we need the will and strength to hold on to our own ideals and own traditions, more than ever. We need to see that order is brought back to our lives. Although I'll grant you, change is good. It is even necessary, but when it runs unchecked, it can cause problems. Wherever you go, or whatever you do in the next remaining years of your life, you will find that, for the most part, what I'm saying is true. In the middle of the journey of our life, I came to myself within a dark wood where the straight way was lost. As with the main character in Dante's Inferno, every one of us here today either already has or will eventually come across a time in your life when you'll need answers to unanswerable questions. And you only have your heart, mind, and soul to guide you. So keep with you the values you have learned, and don't be afraid to stick by them. You were not born to live like brutes, but to follow virtue and knowledge. But just having these values isn't enough. They're useless if you don't have the courage and strength to carry them out and live them through. You'll be the same thing as a doctor who had all the medicine in the world, but didn't know how to use them and when to use them. However extreme or mundane your life will become, you will need something, an internal base from which you will grow and expand. In closing, I leave you with a speech Winston Churchill gave on Dunkirk just before the Battle of Britain in World War II. In the following days of the battle, the British Royal Air Force, while outnumbered, fought with such bravery and intensity that they were able to save their small island. We shall not flag nor fail. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight in the fields and the streets. We shall never surrender. Good luck, and thank you all.
This year's class essayist possesses not only intelligence, but a good attitude and a caring personality. She has done more for the school than most people realize, being co-editor for our yearbook, co-captain of the girls' gymnastics team, and a member of the National Honor Society, to name a few. Please welcome the class of 1995 essayist, Cindy Wallen-Jevitz.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Monaco, Superintendent Neely, Dr. Safradini, faculty, parents, invited guests, and fellow students. Today, as we graduate from high school, we embark upon a journey that requires us to assume responsibility for ourselves. It will be a journey of evolution as we strive to achieve our goals, becoming the persons we want to be. As Anne Frank wrote in her diary, all children must look after their own upbringing. Parents can only give good advice or put them on the right paths, but the final forming of a person's character lies within their own hands. Since we were born, we've had someone looking over our shoulders most of the time, giving us advice and showing us the right path to take. Now, it's up to us to go out into the world and continue the process our families and our schools have begun. We must bring with us the values and lessons that our families, teachers, and friends have taught us over the years, so that we can refine and mold ourselves into contributing members of society. Throughout this journey, we must guard against our world becoming too narrow. We should not allow ourselves to be primarily concerned with personal aggrandizement. Instead, we should be world aware, thinking about what is happening not only in our own world, but in our country and the entire world. In order to achieve world awareness and effectively put it to use, we must do three things. First, we must be knowledgeable about what is going on in our communities, in our country, and all over the world. Whether we go off to college next year, or enter the workforce, or join the armed forces, we must keep reading and listening and thinking, keeping ourselves informed. Second, from our knowledge, we must form convictions. We must distinguish between right and wrong, between justice and partisanship. Third, we must have the courage to act upon these convictions for the betterment of the world. We must assume responsibility for our actions and try to bring a sense of communal responsibility to others. The journey to selfhood and toward a better world demands that we carry the burdens of this world as well as its pleasures as we pass through it. This is no easy journey that we embark upon. Let us draw upon and build with the lessons we have learned over the years as we take our destiny and that of our world into our own hands.
At this time, we will present the diplomas of the class of 1995. Graduates, as your name is called, please come forward. Matthew K. Sherwood. Anjali Dawn. Eric C. Strand. Cynthia Leah Wallengevitz. Michael Salvatore Abramo. Ashish K. Agarwal. Mandy Lynn Algieri. Stephen L. Almadia. Gina Lynn Aloisi. Julie Ann Bamberg. Nicole Luan Barry. Charlene Barbara Vodkas. James G. Bassler. Tamar Batit. Gregory Stephen Beers. Brendan J. Benecki. Nicole Elise Bergeron. Jill Francis Bertolino. Jill Christine Bevis. Keith R. Blanchet. Joshua P. Blaney. Gregory Paul Blash. David Thomas Bowen. Jeffrey P. Brem. William John Rogner. Jason Michael Brooks. Rachel Elizabeth Drudy. Jody Bucher. Stephen E. Callahan. Michael Thomas Campo. Shane S. Campo. Gerald V. Capozzi. Todd A. Carroll. Kristen A. Catanzano. Laurie A. Centrella. Anamika M. Shaturi. Jessica L. Chesbro. Stephen T. Cody. David F. Colby. Kristen May Coleman. Joseph David Collum. Francis Mary Conlin. Sean William Conway. Joseph A. Cosentino. Kimberly M. Costa. Amy Elizabeth Cavino. Anne Marie Cavino. Robert J. Cura. Amy E. Curran. Peter M. Sarapak. Michael A. D'Agostino. Ronald James DeLeva. Michael W. DeMoore. Charlene Rose Danielle. Renee Suzanne D'Antono. Jessica Lynn Davis. Matthew John Davison. Janet M. Day. Colleen DeCotra. Joseph J. Delatorre. Matthew R. Dermody. Thierry Desai. Christopher R. DeVoe. Elizabeth A. DeVingo. Andrea M. De Blasi. Megan Ann Diggins. Matthew William Dillon. Andrea Elizabeth DePietro. Melissa E. DePinto. Charles A. Doherty. Brenda Denise Doyle. June T. Dreyer. James F. Drolette. Courtney R. Duncan. Danielle N. Dunn. Kristen L. Dupre. Matthew J. Enos. Marina Fabrizio. Elisa Ann Faraco. Christina Elizabeth Figgenbaum. Megan Claire Finn. Andrea M. Finnan. Amy L. Fitzpatrick. Christopher J. Fitzpatrick. Ryan D. Fortini. Victor Manuel Furtado. Michael Patrick Gaffey. Daniel Philip Gallagher. Neil P. Gallagher. Japal S. Gandhi. John M. Gannon. Rachel L. Geffen. Jesse Gillingham. Paul Joseph Giovanello. Michael W. Glavin. Matthew R. Glennon. Christopher Allen Goddard. David Joseph Cadino. Ava Larissa Gordonea. Matthew Joseph Gordon. Michael A. Goshgarian. Jennifer Sue Griffin. Kimberly M. Galtieri. Kimberly Ann Garanti. Nicole Marie Halverson. Atiyatu Latif Hanif. Summer A. Harrington. Mark David Harrison. Stacy E. Harrison. Rashish Baba Hirani. Rakesh Baba Hirani. John Michael Holmes. Peter William Hughes. Kimberly Ann Hyam. John N. Hines. Richard C. Ingalls. Lucas N. Janik. Jacqueline Ann Jordan. Melissa Jean Giuliano. Meredith Leah Kasabian. Mary Elizabeth Keating. Jamie M. Kelly. Arif I. Khalifa. John Patrick Killian. Kimberly Marie Kilroy. Sean Michael Kinchler. Beth Janet Gregorian. Jan Ulrich Chrysler. Farah S. Lamb. Brian Thomas Lavoie. Matthew P. Lawless. Mark Charles LeBlanc. Ian Long. Philip Anthony Longo. Susan H. Lynch. Deanna Rose Lyon. Ryan David McDougall. Lan H. Mark. Deborah Marie Mahoney. Richard Ann Majeski. Cara M. Malatesta. Nectaria Malias. Keith Marcocchio. Stephen F. Maria. Mark P. Marino. Jennifer Lynn Martin. Jocelyn Ann Martinello. Kristen Marie McCartney. Shelley Ann McCullough. Melissa Elise McDonough. Sean Michael McGowan. Denise P. McLaughlin. Kerry Ann McLaughlin. Kathleen Julia Melanson. Jason Michael Mercier. Darrell John Mesa. Kelly Marie Mativia. Elizabeth Mary Monaco. Laura Nicole Montemarano. Robin Lynn Moore. Michelle Lee Moran. Tracy Marie Murphy. Mark B. Nardella. Stephen Kenneth Nebrega. Megan Catherine O'Brien. Joseph E. O'Connor. Kathleen Ann O'Connor. Colleen Marie O'Hare. Erin Catherine O'Neill. Sherry Ann Pedisano. Scott B. O'Redden. Holly Ann O'Sullivan. Adam J. Packard. Nicole Marie Palumbo. Katie Marie Pandolfo. Matthew T. Palmette. Seth C. Parsons. Atal B. Patel. Tracy N. Parachi. Stacy M. Petropolakis. Catherine Elizabeth Pierce. Laura Ann Pondelli. Amy Claire Putnicki. George A. Queen. Neil W. Quinton. Maria E. Ramos. Jessica Ann Rawlinson. Gina Marie Rapucci. Jeanne M. Restivo. Christopher C. Richard. Danielle Richardson. Robert T. Rogers. Jason Paul Rose. Shauna Z. Rosenberg. Jeremy David Royds. Lindsay Joan Russick. Rebecca Patrice Salvato. Michael A. Santulo. Lauren Beth Snell. Andrew R. Siegel. Brian Edward Segul. Robert E. Segul. David B. Shannon. Jennifer Lee Shea. Melissa Dawn Shea. Paul Schwartzman. Dennis M. Skelton. Kevin Paul Slater. Anthony J. Steele. Roderick F. Steele Jr. Julie Ann Steiner. Mark M. Strati. Krista Antoinette Salfaro. Daniel J. Surratt. Christopher M. Taylor. Adam C. Terrio. Christine Ellen Terrio. Sharon Renee Tucker. Manasseh Ram Varaganti. Paul R. Whitney. Jessica Amanda Woodbridge. Victoria Lee Yaden. Tiffany Young. On behalf of the administration and faculty, I wish to extend our sincerest congratulations to the class of 1995. Mr. Lovell.